Welcome to the Forged by the Fire podcast. I've just had a great chat with Ritchie and Joe. We've been talking about all sorts of bits and pieces about teams, belonging, and what it means to build trust and leadership in teams. What do we talk about? Open communication, banter, relationships, how to, if you're struggling to fit in with your crew, how to sort of find your place and grow that team culture. It's been awesome. I hope you guys enjoy it. If there are other topics or things you want to hear more of or more from these guys, just feel free to drop it in the comments. It's your podcast, so just feel free to join the conversation. Add your 2 cents. If you want a story shared or something on here, just let us know. Enjoy. I've got a lot out of it, and I hope you do too. Thank you. Awesome. Well, Joe, welcome back. Thanks heaps. It's great to have you here. Well, actually, both of you on duty today, so really appreciate the effort and the commitment to tag along. Of course, if we do get interrupted, we'll just have to fix it in post, but no dramas at all. So Joe, awesome to have you back. Really excited to hear some of your perspectives of some of the teams and environments you've had experience in, which is super cool. Yeah. Thanks for coming. And Ritchie, super stoked to have you on as well.
Thank you.
How long have you been in the job now?
Oh, now you're gonna ask me really hard questions. I have approximately 40 years experience.
40. That's awesome. And how many of those years have you been in the peer support team?
Peer support out of 2 regions now, and a good 25 years.
Man, that's
on off.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Would that be like near the beginning then of the peer? When did peer support actually start?
I was one of 3 members in what was Region 3.
Yeah.
Which is out of Wanganui, and myself and a good friend of ours, we were 2 founding members when they were setting up peer support.
Seriously?
Down there, so.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's seriously cool experience.
So that was before obviously moving up to Tauranga. We've been here for quite some time now. So.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah, super stoked to hear from that. Thank you for that service as well. I'd really like today just like look into a little bit about teams. Obviously our work and a lot of other workplaces, frontline services or other environments depend heavily on teamwork. And like just from that peer support experience, how have you seen that change over the years of peer support? How have you seen the team environment change over those years? Has there been a significant shift in culture?
I think the team dynamics is probably the same, but the culture within the teams has changed. I guess my first start with brigades and things like that as a team, if you want to call it, that it was more like a sports team. So there was quite a bit of discipline in there, and it was quite regimented. And that you knew that you were supported by your peers or your work colleagues when it came to looking at individuals' well-being and things like that, and that we were always there to help each other out. It was not something that was generally just talked about, brought out in the open, people being quite open about feelings, etc. It was sort of like get on with the job sort of thing, and then perhaps go and do what we frown upon now, but pretty much go and get yourself a little bit of extra substance and beer all to your mates and then sort of go home from there. So team dynamics still the same, very supportive. We have changed. We listen. We've got a far better understanding that I think what makes a good team for me is utilising the individual's skills skill sets. We all have different skill sets, and therefore identifying that we all have different ways of reflecting and working through stresses, strains, how we react under pressure. And it's trying to, I guess, coach or identify how best to support the individual, more so than a holistic team type thing. And I guess that's something I'd probably turn to Joe and ask the question. I think in all sports and things like that, we're all recognising the same thing, as it's not one fit process for everyone.
No.
So so that's good to see.
Yeah, I'd say it is a very different kettle of fish for each person and how they deal with each situation. Relating it back to sport, like it's like you have to be almost very individualistic to get to even getting in the team, and then once you're in the team, it's switching roles from being an individual to combining your efforts and being able to compromise and get the best out of each other. And I guess in the fire service it's the same when you're in a crew. That dynamic, and even when you've got overtimers coming in and out, utilising their skills and change of scenarios depending on what the job is, I guess. But yeah, also like, we've been to some pretty gnarly calls now, and each person kind of deals with it differently. Some don't really want to talk about it at all, and others want to open up quite a lot about it. So yeah, respecting that as well.
Yeah, respecting the individual difference. What, like, as far as elements of, you know, that transition from, you were talking about, from going from being an individual to try get into the team to then once you're in being about the wider team, how does that play out? Like, I don't know, for someone who's never been in an environment or a world like that, I have no idea what that even looks like.
Well, I guess you kind of would, like, you've had to go through selection just to get into this job, so it's about like putting your best foot forward and making sure you're the best applicant for the role. So it's the same as any job really, whether it be like anything. You've got to go through that process of applying and making sure you're the best person for them if there's multiple people applying. Showing that you can fit into a crew and understand the tasks and be able to do them. But yeah, I guess in sport it's pretty selfish. Like you're training with a whole group of people and you're trying to be the best out of all of them to then progress into a national team where it's a whole another group of people all looking out for themselves, getting put into one crew, and then you get a lot of dynamics of egos and strengths and being able to gel that together and bring that culture into a crew is pretty hard. I see it probably more so on the fire ground and in different stations. The cultures can be better at some stations than others, and that kind of depends on the people and how active they are and if they talk to each other as well. So I guess you've got to have that element of being open and not having it all your way. It's all about compromise.
Yes, a lot there. I kind of would like to hear more from. Can we start with like, you know, that what you were saying, you go,
Well, if I can,
go for it.
I'd really agree with what Joe's been saying. Like when you join the fire brigade, like you said, as an individual, you've got to push yourself forward. You then arrive on a station as a recruit, and your sole focus is trying to remember to do everything. And one of the first things you do is you arrive, and they say, "Now remember everything they taught you on the recruits course." Forget it, because we don't do it this way. So your focus is on you trying to do your job the best that you can. After a period of time and you're getting more relaxed and a bit more experience, then you start looking around as you you start looking around and making sure that other people are all okay and that they're doing their job, and it becomes more of a shared work, more fluid, working together now, because I've done my job. I'm confident there now. I'm looking around, can I help another member of my team improve their job?
Yeah, that's cool.
Or if is there something that's been missed?
Yeah.
So that's the experience that we always talk about within a team.
Yeah.
Not I've done an exam and I've done a piece of paper. It's how we start reading things.
Being able to anticipate.
Then as you become an officer, you're sort of like it's a new learning curve, and a new officer think, well, jeepers, I've got all these experienced guys in the back. I'm going to use their expertise and help them see things, but you're learning, so you're not that confident with your team's type things.
Yeah.
And then as you get better, then that helps the team. So we're always improving, we're always advancing. We don't talk about it, but there are, as Joe said, there are some crews in here, just great experience. They all get on well. They complement each other, even though individually they're all totally different.
Yeah. You almost don't have to do anything at a job. Everyone kind of just slides into their roles and shit gets done.
You look around and I might have not picked something up. Next thing I've got someone on the radio or something say, hey Richard, did you see that?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah.
And that's all part of the team atmosphere that we try, and I guess it happens, but in a lot of cases we also try and harness that and utilise that.
Do you think it'll be, could, at least for the purpose of this conversation or wider, do you reckon we could phrase that, like that ability to operate as a team fluidly and just that whole environment you just described, would that be belonging? Would that be what belonging looks like in a team? When you know your place? Is that fair, or does that look different to you?
Yeah, I'd say it's part of it for sure.
That it would be part of it.
Yeah.
Feeling.
You kind of understand what everyone's going to kind of do without having to say it. So yeah, I guess it would be belonging. Like you're gelling together and you're kind of becoming one big movement instead of...
That's how I feel about it. Like when you join a new crew, initially you're kind of like, oh, these guys obviously all have a way of operating already. Yeah. And you're kind of balancing that line of trying to fit in, trying to bring your bit. And then I feel like when it clicks, for me, that's when I feel like I belong here.
Yep. It's a good word that you could use there. Trust is another thing.
Trust.
The more that you work together, the more you get to trust each other's abilities.
Yeah.
You know what they can do.
Yeah.
So you're quite happy to let things happen and roll out, fully knowing that you trust the information or the skills the person's got. So there's, then from all of that you start to develop a bit of loyalty there as well. When you feel like you're part of the team, you belong. You start to get a little bit of a loyalty, and then you get the old family banter, etc. I think a lot of people don't realise that in our job it's like a family. It's like living with a group of brothers. So there's going to be times that you're going to fall out. There's going to be times that you'll disagree. But we know each other almost like brothers. So then we can trust. And we also know how to wind them up real quickly. And all sorts of things. But we also know when they're not their normal self. So therefore, some people will just quietly say, "Hey, what's going on? Everything all right?" And that's the thing that's really improving.
Yeah, it is definitely one of those things. I don't think you can just put one word on it. Like it's belonging, it's teamwork, it's trust, and like Ritchie said, it's family. It is being able to pick up those nuances of people that aren't quite the normal selves. And I think some stations, like it doesn't matter, your crew fits into that station as well. Like it doesn't matter who you're working with that day, everyone kind of gels and you get to know each other really well. You can kind of understand if you can push someone or pull back, or it's quite important to be able to watch those nuances and be able to get the best out of people.
I love that. I love framing it as family. And trust and teamwork. I think that's a really cool way of summarizing that environment. And Joe, to what you were saying before about, in the athletics or the sporting world, some of the incredible high performing team environments you've performed in. Yeah. Can you give any insights into maybe some of the key elements that make that a thing? Or
I think the key element is always just culture. Some of the best teams I've ever been in, you've got some huge personalities and some big names, and then you've got just your average guy that works for the team. Yeah. But when you make it a good culture, it doesn't matter that person that doesn't have the highest paying job still hangs out with the person that has the highest paying job and the most stressful job, and everyone just gets along. Yeah. And I think the coolest thing we did at Team New Zealand was everyone eats lunch together, no matter who they are. And all the tables were always mixed with different people, and you almost bouncing ideas off each other, and sometimes you can come up with things that you've not even comprehended thinking of, but someone from a different perspective has given you a different point of view, and it helps you realize something that you've not even been thinking about. That can add to the team dynamic. And I think that's probably something our organisation or big organisations don't do well enough. They keep the separation between the bottom and the top, and I think sometimes people at the bottom actually have fantastic ideas and can give a lot, but they always get discredited and don't get the chance to kind of progress. They're kind of just stuck in their zone. But when you have a really cool culture, it doesn't matter where you are on the hierarchy. You can be you can speak and someone listens to you, or someone trusts what you're saying. And I think that's I don't know, you can't really put a price on something like that. So culture is probably the biggest game changer, or the biggest thing I see that can add the biggest value to a team, and the atmosphere of it, and just being part of everything. You keep hearing the saying, one team, one dream, and if you're saying that, then you have to truly believe that the people at the lowest rank are fighting just as hard as the people at the top to make that achievement happen. And Team New Zealand was a big part of that. My time in rowing was probably a bit different, because it is one of those sports where every individual is trying to get to the top, and sometimes you've got to go against each other to get that position. But once you're in that team, it's very important to be able to listen to each other and gel. From experience with me and Nathan, when we first got together for rowing, we probably didn't gel the best, and it took us a good probably year and a half of almost bickering and figuring each other out to learn our compromises. And sometimes his way wasn't the best way, and sometimes mine wasn't the best way, and our weaknesses became each other's strengths, and our strengths became each other's weaknesses. And the gelling of that really took us to the next level. Where I was weak, he was strong, and I would pull him through that. And then where I was weak, he was strong, and we got each other through those difficult bits and made the achievement even better.
That's incredible. Again, so much to unpack. I think with the rowing thing, it's from maybe a fan's perspective, you don't see that stuff, right? When you're watching the Olympics, the event starts and you see 15 minutes of your last 4 years, and everyone on the water just makes it look easy, so you don't really even consider what's gone into
that classic iceberg thing. You only see that top of the iceberg, and that's the glory, but no one sees the depth underneath that it took to get that achievement.
I think from the Emirates Team New Zealand stuff, one thing I remember, I don't even remember which campaign it was from, but I think it was Glenn Ashby was saying about the culture in the team was the way they sort of approached this cup was the whole idea of like, just how far can you throw the ball, and then we'll just chase it and see if we can catch it, kind of thing. Yeah. That must be a pretty incredible environment to be a part of.
It can definitely be pretty stressful.
Yeah.
I guess the thing when you don't have the money that some of the other teams have is that you really have to pinpoint the things that you want to focus on. So you can't go in all different directions and try all these different things and then see if they work.
Yeah.
You have to make a decision early.
Yeah.
Pick what you think is going to be the best and then make it work. So I think the task was always to make the boat as fast as possible, no matter if it was hard to sail. And then the task was to learn to sail it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So make it as difficult as possible, but as quick as it can be.
Yeah.
And then figure it out after that. So yeah, it's a pretty cool way to think of things. But
could you break that team environment down into certain, like, what characteristics of that group made that possible? Because not any individual could jump in there and make that work, right? It'd be a pretty special group of people.
Yeah, I guess with Team New Zealand, it kind of starts with the designers.
Yeah.
Well, it starts with like Daltz and the sailing crew coming up with ideas, and then the designers coming up with, like, I think a lot of it in Team New Zealand or in sailing in the America's Cup is these boats have been someone's idea previously, and then they get the chance to pitch their idea of something that's never been done before. Yeah. And they don't even know if it's going to work. So like when we got into the AC-75, I remember the first time it foiled, the relief on everyone's faces that it actually could do it, because no one actually knew for sure. Wow. Like it had been through computer modeling and the theory was there, but you never actually know it's going to work till you do it. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah. Like there's always scales and you can try little things, but when you bring it up to full scale of a 3.5 ton boat, like lifting out of the water, is pretty cool. But yeah, I guess it comes with a vision and then pitching that idea and then having the trust of a whole bunch of people to think, yeah, that'll work, or that might not work, but let's try it. And then so what is it? An idea, a dream, an idea, a pitch, trust from a whole bunch of other people, and then a whole design team and boat building team and engineers to put it all together and make it work. It's like, it is a crazy thing, especially in Team New Zealand. You literally see the design, like you see the sailors on the boat fighting it out, but the cup is almost won and lost in the design room before anything even starts. So yeah, it's pretty incredible to be a part of. And like you see 10 people on a boat, but there's 250 or 150 people behind the scenes making everything work, and not one of those people is slacking off or doing anything apart from working their hardest. So it's like a hive.
The thing that I find as a bystander as well is, I mean, we call them, you know, they're a super team. You know, they're a high performance team. And it doesn't matter what they're doing and what stage it is. You know, you talked about the culture. There's that culture that how can we improve this? How can we make it better? If you think about people's mindsets, you know, theirs is so much on a mindset that is like, you know, we've given everything we can, but how can we improve it? How can we make it that much better? And it'd be really nice if we could bring that into a lot of businesses in general, but they've obviously sold the concept they've got. So people who have just brought into it, and they're brought into it by competing their asses off to get those positions. And then there's that, doesn't matter what level they are or what they're doing, whether they're just making the sails or applying epoxy resin for a repair or remodifying a winch because we can get something better out of it. It's just that mindset and that drive, you know.
Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, we come up with ideas,
Yeah.
and then unfortunately we've always hamstrung, etc.
Yeah.
The old Kiwi number 8 wire, but that's, you know, I guess high performance. I always envisaged that, like a Formula One car, at the beginning of the first race, that car should be primo, just like the yacht should be primo. And yet they might started campaigns with 2 or 3, and they're, how can we improve it? Well, let's do this, let's do that, and we just get better and better. The crews, we're not happy with our performance. You know, why aren't we? We're missing stuff. This piece of equipment's not working. We're too slow transferring, or we're not getting enough grinding. You're not getting enough power to make things work. So how do we improve it? You know, and it's why the grinders have to flog themselves. They have to lose weight. They've got to be stronger. You know, we've got to change the equipment or the grinding mechanism. I don't know whether you go down to arm stuff and links, but it's just always that positive, let's improve it. And you'll get mistakes, you'll slip back and you'll fall back, but okay, let's go back to where we were and try something else. You know, that's a great team to be in.
And like in Joe's example there of how that team functions, again came up like that trust, almost that almost unquestioning, like, all right, like put trust in people. As a leader of, you know, teams and stuff in our work in firefighting, you've been, you know, a station officer a while now. How do you see that playing out in teams you've been a part of, and as a leader in teams, that level of trust, how to bring about that trust?
Again, let's go back to we talk about the individual thing. I mean, for me, my thought process on trying to be a good leader and a team player is to be consistent. Have the guys, I guess, develop a trust in that I'm consistent. I could be consistently bad, but at least they know I'm consistent. So I'm not hitting them with anything that's out of the ordinary. To be caring, to understand and be caring, that's another attribute that I work hard on. If I know how the people within my crew are as individuals, and I'm interested in what they do, then I think they can better help me coach, mentor, and lead a team when it comes to more stressful things. You know, at the end of the day, we got so much happening outside of the job, and then we come in here and we get thrown into incidents, things like that are not pleasant. And it's about making sure we have, I don't know if you've talked about resilience, but resilience on certain days can be not as good as they are on other days. And it's about trying to identify that either as an individual or looking at your other team members. So it's, but for me, probably consistency and trust. Being open and honest. If I don't know, I say to the guys I don't know. If I want help from specialists, and by that I mean that these guys are all trained in different fields within our service. I've got guys that are swift water rescue trained. So if I get anything flooding or anything like that, there's no point in me making the decisions. What do we need? And you use that you know, that category. If it's boats and anything, you know, I might say to Joe, man, how do we best deal with this? So yeah, those are, I guess, the traits that I try and use.
I like it.
Other people will just go and expect you that are a bit more army orientated, autocratic. And so because of the rank that they have, they want, when they ask you to do something, they want it done, you know. Time and place for that when there's a bit of urgency, because at the end of the day, as a leader, you still got to make that decision. But for me, it's always good to have, if I get the opportunity, consult, think about it, get the information that they're seeing, add that into my understanding of what's happening, and then make decisions. So,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can't be the expert at everything. So you let other people shine when they know more and they understand better. And I guess it's having the humility to be able to let people do that as well. Some officers we have, it's their way or the highway, but yeah, you can tell when you've got a good crew. Everyone's got their different strengths and weaknesses, and it's so important to let them shine when they need to. And sometimes you have to hold people back, but there's nothing wrong with that either. It's all about gelling.
yeah.
Every situation's different, so there's no right or wrong way to do anything sometimes.
Both of you have talked about, like I think before, Joe, you were talking about in the Team New Zealand culture, everyone eats together. There's very little separation between high paids and, that sort of culture. Ritchie, you were just talking about being able to, as a boss, being able to listen to the people in the back seats and stuff. What do you think that does for the feeling of family? And more important, more maybe a focus on, I think we've probably all been part of teams where, as you were just saying, more autocratic, where that sort of flow of confidence and family and belonging doesn't really evolve as naturally. What does that do to the performance, whether it's in sporting world, when that fluid environment doesn't exist? What do you think that does to performance of athletes or firefighters when that gel doesn't exist?
I'd say when you're getting listened to, no matter what your rank is, you feel like you're achieving something. You're adding to the team. So it gives you a sense of purpose. It gives you a sense of belonging. It makes you more invested in what you're doing, especially if your idea gets taken up. But even if your idea just gets listened to, that could spark another idea for someone else. So I think it's incredible. You feel part of the journey. You feel like you're adding something to the team. And I think for most people, if they feel like they're adding something to the team, they're way more likely to enjoy what they're doing, give their all, and you'll get way more out of them. But if you're shutting them down all the time, they feel a bit smaller, and then if you ignore what they're saying when they've got an idea, that makes you even more resentful, and it definitely doesn't get the most out of them. It turns them into someone that's probably not going to spark their idea again. They're not going to come up with something because no one's going to listen to them. And then they don't enjoy what they're doing. They get more resentful of what they're turning up to, and you'll get nothing out of them. They'll start doing the bare minimum, and that'll be it. But yeah, you give someone a chance to thrive, and they'll give everything they have.
Yeah, I mean, it's that time of sharing at the quiet times, the eating together, like both our crews. We all, I think every crew here at Greerton Station, we all eat together.
Yeah.
So it's and it's a time where you just share, and it could be just sharing about your holidays, etc. But it's that family time, I guess, and that's then leads, as Joe said, into obviously the feeling like you can say something and do things, which is, I guess, what we're all after, because we're going to risk certain things at certain times, and we need to then have that trust. And I know that if I go into this house fire with Joe, that he's going to have my back, and I'm going to have his back. Then you start pushing forward into a bit of competitiveness and everything, because I'm not going to have a younger brother start showing me up for certain things. So you start getting efficiencies and improvements and things like that. When we get operational and we've got a big incident, there's a term that we have had. In a lot of cases, we talk about people freelancing, and the freelancing where they're making decisions and doing things off their own back. And I sometimes wonder whether that is because they don't really feel like they're part of
Yeah.
the team properly, or they feel like they're not going to be listened to, or there's a communication thing. So I think this is the best way that I can see I can contribute, because we're all working towards the same goal. So they go and do it. Whereas I sort of encourage people that if you've got a good idea and you can see something, you let us know. So then I wouldn't then term it as freelancing. I term it as having an understanding that those guys are now working over there, and I have to adjust things for that, or we as a team have to adjust for that.
I think I can really relate to that. It's like, you know, when you're in a crew, I really enjoy being in a crew where you feel like you can take initiative. But when you're in a crew where you feel like the line between taking initiative and freelancing is grey, I feel like it just shoots my confidence. Like I don't know if it's just a problem I have, but my confidence will plummet. Like I feel, and I guess all that whole family, trust, teamwork, all that stuff that we just talked about, for me, that just goes out the window. Like if I'm in that sort of grey area where I don't feel like I can take initiative and contribute because all that freelancing stuff. But yeah, that I feel like that's quite relatable, really. As you know, I'm still a fairly new firefighter. Sometimes working with new crews, confidence gets shot. Is that a problem you reckon? I don't know. Is that common across teams that you've seen?
Sometimes, I guess it's how the team is set up, or people within the team will have expectations, and if you don't clearly discuss those expectations, you can start getting unstuck quite quickly. Like I have expectations, so in a lot of cases with my crew, I don't need to say anything because my expectation is I know that they know it. If I have someone who's new, then I have to sort of change the style or what I do because I got someone new and I'm not sure they know what my expectations are. Every time I get a new firefighter that starts with me, I sit down and I have an expectations conversation. But part of that is also to say, well, what's your expectations of me? What do you want from me? What will help you? So we have a general. Every now and again in the past, there's been an opportunity to say, can we have an expectations conversation again? Because there's a couple of things where just want to remind you. And it's a bit of a, I guess, a guiding prompt, but it's almost like a set of, if you want to call it values or unwritten rules, or this is the way the family does it. You sort of, are you in on that, and you understand firmly. Everything's different. Everything changes there.
Oh yeah, I think it's important as well for like leaders to lead, but also leaders to listen. If you're just leading the whole time and not listening to your crew, then they're not going to get that positive side out of it. And if they can't show that they know what they've learnt, like how are you going to see that you can trust them without letting them take initiative and try something different or put forward some ideas? And it's important for growth, and it's important for trust, and it's important for gelling as a group.
High performance teams, I'm sure, have like sports psychologists and that deal with the team as a whole to give them that drive and that focus on moving forward, but obviously treating individuals the same. And I think one thing that FENS is finally doing and recognising, like with my work within peer support and things like that, is the ability for us to tap into that. So when we are struggling as individuals, then we're not contributing well as part of the team, we're not functioning well. And we're opening up the doors and having access to that. I think on a previous podcast, you had Danny probably talking a little bit about Te Kiwi Maya.
Yes, yeah, I think that came up briefly, yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's a great thing for emergency services support trust that we all get involved with. And one of the neat things that's come out of that is an annual run that we all do. And there's a real good portion of guys within the brigade that it doesn't matter their abilities or whatever, will try and go and support the good guys that do it, etc. All for the cause of being able to assist and help each other. And having things like that and the ability to talk to psychologists when you need to.
Yeah.
Our peer supporters, counsellors is far better.
Yeah.
And helpful to get the individual to then better the performance of the team.
Yeah, cool.
And that's what I think high performances do really well.
I was just thinking on a side note, all the high performance teams that I've been part of that have been fun include a lot of shit banter. and I don't know, I was just thinking how serious this chat's been. And I was like, you got to have fun doing it as well. And if you're serious the whole time, then you kind of lose that perspective of what you're there for. And I was just thinking shit banter and giving each other like flack all the time is almost as important as everything. Like it's one of those things of building trust that you can talk shit to each other. You can you can give each other shit, but you're not going to take it personally.
No. And
If you're taking it personally, then there's something wrong in the crew, and you need to have a look either at yourself or what you're doing. But when you make things fun as well, you get way more out of people, and it helps with your mental health. It helps with the workload. Like if you're under a stressful situation and everyone's just zoned in and not talking, then it becomes really sterile and boring. But if everyone's laughing and joking and giving each other shit the whole time, then all of a sudden this huge task becomes something smaller and seems way more achievable and takes kind of the stress out of it. It can be something super serious that you're doing, but if you can make it lighthearted and a bit more fun in the right situation, of course, but it helps take the load off something that can be pretty strenuous and impactful. But if someone's not giving you shit, it's probably because they don't like you. But
Well, there's a lot of people don't like me then. No, he's quite right, and it's. I mean, we talk about black humour to help us get through stressful situations, but it is, you get to know how a person reacts, and that by a lot of cases the banter. Sometimes you might overstep the mark, and you think, oh, just gone a bit too far. In which case, you just turn around, hey, sorry, it was all, and they know it, but they'll try and push the borax at you a little bit later on and see how you perform. But that is a very enjoyable part of them.
And if you give it, you got to be able to take it too.
That's it.
Yeah.
And if you can't take it, don't give it, because it's going to come back double fold.
I just think it's hugely important, and it can help you. Again, it's the culture as well, but it can help you through some hard times. And it can also get the best out of you. Like you feel like you're part of the crew, you feel like you're part of the team, and you will push harder, or you'll work harder to achieve that common goal. If you feel like you're on the lay side the whole time, then you start wondering why, and you can go down the wrong path. But got to make hard things fun.
And how do you counter that? If you I guess I feel like there must be a few people, and I guess in some cases even myself, where I could relate to maybe, in some places I'm just not good at banter. Like it just doesn't even occur to me. Like some places I feel like I'm alright. I can give people a ribbing and it's all good. But then in some environments I just don't even feel like I get it, and I wonder if other people find that as well, when you're just not quite, I don't know, just not even like quippy enough. Or, you know, how if you
You're
feel,
not in on the vibe.
yeah, if you feel like you're losing, if you feel like you're not quite, yeah, whether you're new to a team or you feel like, as you were just saying before, if you're sort of losing that sort of touch with the team, how can you counter that to sort of make sure you're, you know, back up on the horse and tucking into the team?
It's a hard one. I've definitely been in that situation a lot, especially when you're tired and you're grumpy and you're probably not involved. But sometimes not saying anything is just as important as trying to say everything. Sometimes you just got to sit back and listen and wait for the opportunity. You don't have to say it just because you want to be part of it.
Yeah, that comes across worse.
It seems almost forced.
Yeah.
So patience is one, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's all about timing, I guess.
Yeah, and there are people who are absolutely brilliant at banter.
Yeah.
And by my nature, I'm not one of those. But I guess the fact that you're there in a light-hearted atmosphere, you're all together, and the banter might be going between the two, and others around laughing. You are part of that banter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, and you might get one line in,
Yeah.
and you think, and then you watch the fireworks go off, and then someone else will pick up on that, and you know it makes.
I feel like I can relate to that the
it
most.
makes it enjoyable. So I don't think you have to lead it to really feel like you're part of it. You know, you're part of it by default.
Yeah.
Because you're all having that time together, I guess.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you can just take the piss out of yourself as well. Like, sometimes people don't know if you can handle it. If you can't handle the banter and you can't handle being the piss taken out of you, then people aren't going to give it to you.
Yeah.
So it's about being able to take the seriousness off yourself, maybe show you're vulnerable and kind of buy into it. But
Yeah, and if you're the first one to laugh at yourself, quite often might stop the others poking so much at you.
Yeah.
So you go, oh, I'm going to get him first.
I like that what you said just then, Joe, about like, I guess that sort of highlights the line between being vulnerable and sensitive, right? If you're sensitive and sort of not responding well to jokes is incredibly different to being vulnerable and
laughing it off.
Yeah. Can we go back a bit? Well, a long way. You said it took about 1.5 years for you and Nathan to click as a rowing crew. Yeah. Do you think Nathan would mind? Can you unpack that anymore? Like, what is that? I mean, obviously it's an extremely tight bond.
Probably wasn't quite 1.5 years, maybe a year, but like Nathan was already in the team. He was in the double. He was established in that role. Yeah. And then I was younger, newer. I had to take his double partner out to get into that crew. And they'd always done stuff a certain way. I came in with a completely different way. And it wasn't bad, and we weren't slow, but to get that top end out of us, it just took a while. Like, I had to fit in with what he was doing, so I had to change how I did things a lot. And then it took a bit of trust, I guess, for him to understand that some of the different things that I did were probably just as good, or they could be better. I think when we first started rowing, we always rowed down the course at 36, and I really struggled with that. And that's how the way they'd always done it, and that's how the way all doubles had always done it. And then I think one race I kind of blew it up a bit and went around like 38-40, and he struggled with that a bit, and I kind of blew him up, so it wasn't the best. And then we kind of realised somewhere in the middle we started getting better, and then the rating came up even more. Like, when I talk rating, it's strokes per minute, but it just took a while, and a few head-to-heads. Like, we definitely didn't always do things the right way. It wasn't always just smiles and happiness, and like, we definitely had to have hard times and then confront each other, and then like take the learnings from that confrontation and make it better from there. Like if you were confronting each other and then you were too stubborn to pull back on your own beliefs, then we wouldn't have got anywhere. It's about coming to a head sometimes. It's not agreeing to disagree, but it's more giving each other some give and take. Like you can think your way is right all the time, but there's always more than one way to skin a cat type conversation. So it's about being able to adapt and try the new thing. You don't just keep doing it because that's the way it's always been done. Give something new a go. It might work, it might not, but you'll never know unless you try it. And then we finally started changing our rate. I guess that's where we learned. I was really good at kind of the sprint, so I was good at the start and the finish, coming out at the high rate and then finishing at a high rate, but I really sucked in the middle, where Nathan was a bit more like he was all over it, but his strength was really being consistent throughout the whole race. So it took us a while to figure it out, but I kind of led out the start and then he held us through the middle and then he held on while I let go at the end type thing. So
that's cool.
It took it took trust and it took vulnerability and it took a few heads to heads to come out with that outcome. But had we not done it, had we not had those arguments or those discussions or even those kind of situations where we tried new things, we would have never got to where we got. So it's learning, adapting, changing, and being willing to try something new or different. I think what's the saying, like doing the same thing consistently, and if it's wrong is something. Insanity. I can't remember.
The definition of insanity is
Yeah.
repeating. Oh yeah, I just lost it as well. Repeating the same mistake and not changing anything or something like that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all about adaptation and change. And I think a lot of organizations and a lot of companies could probably learn a lot from that.
Yeah. Especially because, I mean, like, from a spectator's point of view, it's rowing. Just, you know, like, it seems like just row harder or stroke faster or whatever, you know, like, it doesn't seem like a complicated sport. But, man, when you break it down, obviously there's a lot of little nuances that...
Well, that's the difference.
Technical.
Because everyone that's lined up on that start line is the best. They're all incredible athletes.
Yeah.
They've all done the hard work.
Yeah.
They're all probably just as fit as each other. So when you get to that top level, it's not about being fitter than anyone, because you're probably not going to be fitter than anyone. It's about making the least mistakes, and it's about staying in the mental zone. Like you watch tennis or any high performance sport, like a tennis player, if they make a mistake and they can't rally back from that, they're done. Like it's about being able to take the hit, understanding it's happened, what are you going to do about it, keep pushing forward, keep going. Like it, don't let that that frustration sink in and slow you down. You got to adapt to what went wrong and just keep going. I think the coolest thing me and Nathan always did is whenever we did a row, which was twice a day, nearly every day, the last 2K of every row, we would come down the course and go through a different scenario of what went wrong. And it was never like something that went right. It was always, okay, this has gone wrong. How do we deal with it? Like, what are we going to do? And then when things actually happened during the race that went wrong, we already knew what each other were going to do. Like, we understood. We didn't have to talk about it. You'd literally hear like a grunt or a yip or a go. Like our talks would go from big conversations on what we would do to like literally just a noise, and you kind of understood what each other was going to do, and you could go on that. So I guess everything just takes time and takes understanding, and and trust, a lot of trust.
That's seriously cool. let me just quickly. Okay, well, I want to give one more thing a go. I quickly chucked into Chat GPT, a bit of AI. What we're gonna talk about, and give me some either quick fire questions or like word association stuff. So, would you like to have a round of quick fire questions, just like single sentence answers? See if there's anything worth unpacking.
Go for it. Yep.
You up first?
Yeah.
All right.
A bit like the morning quiz.
It's a bit like the morning quiz, yeah. Except this time, guaranteed 100%.
So I can go, I don't know.
See how we go, eh? All right. Here we go. Right. Quick fire questions. Ritchie, what's the best part of your crew?
The crew.
The hardest part of crew life?
The crew.
Pass. Don't know that answer. I'll think about that one.
One word for a good leader.
Consistent.
One word for a bad leader.
Inconsistent.
What makes someone instantly trusted?
Their ability to be open.
First sign someone isn't okay.
Change in their normal behaviour.
Best shift you've ever had?
Best shift. As in just a day or a night or a crew or...
whatever comes to mind. It's a quick fire, not re-examination.
All of them.
Nice. And coffee room talk, therapy or trouble?
Coffee room.
Coffee room. Yeah. Smoko table chat.
Therapeutic.
Yeah. Nice. I don't think there's anything too much to unpack there.
The worst. What
was hardest part of crew life?
Being away from my family.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair, eh?
Yep.
It is like having...
It's your second family, but it's not
second
your
family,
initial.
but it's not you.
Still have the other
you
family.
didn't choose to marry this one.
It's starting to affect what's going on in the family that you have here at the moment.
Yeah.
Can't quite give you what you need.
Yeah. Joe?
Right.
Funniest crew moment?
Scaring pseudo members on my crew.
Nice. What kills team morale fastest?
Lack of trust.
What builds morale fastest?
Banter and trust.
What makes a rookie feel welcome?
Banter and trust.
What makes most important quality on a job?
Trust.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Who checks in on the checker?
Everyone.
What's harder, asking for help or offering help?
Asking for help.
Two more. Work family, real or overrated? We just spoke about that.
That's definitely real and not underrated by any means.
One thing every crew needs more of?
Banter.
Banter and trust.
Couldn't say
like
money,
it.
but
well, there's that too.
No.
Yeah. I think that, like, obviously they're just AI generated questions, but it really highlights what we've just spent the last hour talking about, right? Trust, and more trust. Yeah. I feel like it's an awesome discussion. Are there any more points you would like to raise?
I don't know. It's just open up, be vulnerable, and you'll probably either see if the team that you're with will take it or not. If they take it the wrong way, you need to change teams.
Mic drop. Yeah.
Yeah, I think being open and honest, that you doing that yourself as an individual, you'll earn a trust from the others that you're prepared to do that. And if you notice something that's out of the norm, be prepared to ask the question. Like I said, it's harder to ask for help, so a lot of people pick up on it and will ask the question, and then that might be the gateway for you to get things solved. So
yeah,
yeah,
I love it. I really appreciate you guys' time. Did I just cut you off? Were you going to add something?
Nope.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining in the conversation, sharing such like rich amount of stuff. I feel like I've gotten so much out of it about what a good team looks like, with trust, family, that open communication from bottom to top, and little techniques and habits you can do to build yourself more into a team or make others feel more welcome in a team. I feel like it's been such a valuable hour for me, so I really appreciate you guys' time. And yeah, I reckon we'll wrap it up there, but much more to talk about. Look forward to hearing from you again. Cheers.
keep up the good work, Levi.
Thanks, folks.